I think meditation is all about keep in mind first and foremost that there is no perfect or clear cut way to meditate. I think meditation comes in all types of spiritual shapes, sizes, and flavors. It can look like transcendental meditation. It can look like moving meditation. It can look like a lot of things. But meditation tips and tricks I feel like to start is really just I can't say clear your mind because we have roughly 50 to 60 thoughts a day. 50 to 60,000 thoughts like in a day.
I'm about to say, like, I had 50 to 60 thoughts just in that minute.
Right. So I can't really say clear your mind, but like sit in a quiet room, a quiet space.
Yes.
Silence your phone. My phone stay on D&D.
It does.
And just.
Because you don't be texting me back.
Relax.
No, I'm just serious.
Yeah, you serious. Cause I don't. And I think just focusing on your breathing. Focusing on your breathing and allowing your thoughts to come to the surface and pass. I think one of the cool things about meditation is people think like, oh, if my thoughts come up or if it's a lot on my mind, then I'm not doing it right. But a lot of times the stuff that you suppress, especially with like sound bowl therapy, like it pulls stuff out of you energetically. So the things that you may be suppressing or like trying not to think about when you have that silence or like space.
Yes.
Meditation is about creating that space for yourself, like daily. So when you have that space to just sit back, a lot of times stuff might come to the surface that you need to be thinking about or stuff that like you've been suppressing that is trying to come out. So does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
Because I think that the big part about it is knowing what is inside and what needs to be released.
And sometimes we don't. Like, sometimes you got stuff that you suppressing, like, or you just have kind of compartmentalized, like, somewhere in your mind, and it'll come up. Or with this, like, it'll be pulled out. So, if that makes sense.
When you say pulled out, I'm talking like it's pulled out of you?
In so many words or ways. So, like, sound bowl meditation is really just an extension of traditional meditation. And I don't even say traditional. It's just a type of meditation. And what I do is in playing them, each of the bowls directly ties to one of your chakras. And you have, contrary to what people think, you have like 7, but you have like 114. So the primary, or something close to that, don't quote me. But the primary like ones that hit like key things from your connection to, you know, yourself or connection to a higher power, to your sense of groundedness, they all kind of touch on something different. Each one of the 3 that I have today plays a different note. Each one, since each chakra is responsible for a different set of things, like one might be responsible for like top of your head, you know, connection to self, connection to higher consciousness, connections to divinity, your heart, connection to love, ability to give love, receive love, your root chakra, which is your groundedness, stability. It all just depends. And so, and playing them as a collective is what people call or refer to as a sound bath, but it allows for the alignment of your energy, your chakras, and all things.
And one thing I want to also notice that each chakra, it connects to a different body part, like along the linear.
Around your spine.
You're right.
From the.
It's like the cranium.
From your, I
crown.
think, what is it, like the top to the base of your spine, or no, top of your head to the base
crown.
of your spine.
Do you have a favorite like piece or like?
Probably
chakra.
The root.
Where's the root? Like the spine,
Base
like right
of your
here.
spine.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. And people ask me like, how do you know which bowls to play? I really don't. It's really just, it's a feeling.
So you
like,
really be freestyling for real?
I be freestyling every time. Like I know what sounds good with what, but I never know what I'm gonna do or play, or I never know what, like if I got a group of 10 people that show up, I don't know what they all need. So meditation is really specific to you. It's your thoughts, it's your energy, it's your spirit, it's your whatever. So everybody who shows up to a meditation session is gonna leave with a different experience. Your experience is gonna be different from mine. Like my first experience with these, I cried, and I played them for a minute.
In a good way or bad way?
It was good because crying is just a form of
release.
It's an emotional release, and I couldn't understand like what the heck am I upset about, but really I didn't know what it was, but something was triggered and something needed to kind of come out, and in crying it was that release, some type of release. So yeah, I don't even know what your question was.
It's all good. I think that a lot of people sometimes struggle with the conversation about mental health because they don't either know how to talk about it or have somebody to talk about it with. But being in your realm of work, I feel as though it's a conversation that kind of sometimes needs to be had, right? What is your outlook on like the current way people are handling their health right now, and what are some additions or what are some changes or what are some things that we should cut out in order to make sure that we're living healthy, abundant,
Man,
and
so listen,
beautiful
I'm
lives?
gonna keep it 3 Virgils.
Right.
I'm still figuring that out for me. Like, I still deal with anxiety attacks. I still talk to a therapist. I still pray. I still meditate. But I feel like everybody is different. I feel like you have to figure out, I feel like people got to look into what their habits are. And, like, are you doing more things that are pouring into you, or are you doing things or invested into things or people that are pulling away from you?
That are not
I don't
beneficial.
know. Like, I feel like it's personal. I feel like me, one thing that I could take away more of is screen time. Not just Instagram or TikTok, but like I'm always on my phone, like skimming, scrolling, or primarily like I'll be on Instagram scrolling. So I feel like kind of taking that out of the equation at times and just like focusing more on you and like investing into you, which sounds very vague, but like just putting the phone down. I think connecting with friends and family and like loved ones is helpful. I think getting a therapist is helpful.
Hey,
I think that's super helpful.
I got one. Shout out to Crystal.
I feel like without my therapist, I don't know what I would have did over the last like year and a half, 2 years. So I really think it just depends. But you said, how do I feel like people are handling their mental health?
Like, how do you feel as though people are handling, like, at least in this space, and like, what I guess if you want to give any guidance for it.
I feel like everybody is doing the best that they can because we are in such an uncertain, unsure time. Like, I know it's always been stuff going on, but I feel like I said, tapping in with a therapist, getting into meditation. If you can't get a singing bowl, tap in with me first and foremost.
Definitely.
Virtual, private,
Simply
group
affirmations.
simply
Priceless.
I feel like journaling has helped. I feel like a therapist helps. I feel like just not isolating yourself, which can be hard, but just leaning in and leaning on your people, if you like people that you have, and just doing things to pour into yourself. Less screen time, less gossip, less negativity, or a limit to it. Like, I find that when I'm really engaged on like the Shade Room or CNN or like Crime in the D, I'm stressed, or like I'm up till 2 in the morning and I don't know what I'm stressed out about. But like, I just could have looked at something for 10 minutes straight negative and I didn't carry it with me to bed. So I feel like just putting your phone down sometimes is helpful.
Yes, I think it does help the mental health because you get you get in touch more with reality.
It's consuming. Like, it just seemed like it's so much going on. I feel like everybody could benefit just from talking about how you feel to a friend, and doing things like meditation to, again, pause and just to kind of bring yourself back to your breath. I feel like we don't breathe deep enough. When you in stressful situations or when you in stress mode, you taking really short breaths. You're not breathing like and allowing your breath and life to like really flow through. So, yeah. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
If
I got a question for you.
you got a question for me,
I do.
what up?
What are you doing? You said your hustle is at a 10 and your heart is at a 7 and your head is at a 7. So, like,
Yes.
what are you doing for your mental health right now, if anything, other than therapy?
It's a good question.
Put you on the spot.
For my mental health, what I'm doing in the morning time, my morning routine is to wake up, and then I do like a unguided meditation. So like it'll either be like music or no music, and I literally just lie still, close my eyes, and then just drift off for like 5 to 10 minutes.
That's what I
It's on a
do.
timer, and it's so relaxing because when you close your eyes and you just think about nothing, or you just see nothing, it just makes you feel like nothing. I don't know if that makes sense though.
It do.
Because it's like if my eyes are closed and I'm just drifting off, I feel like I'm just kind of like floating into like this state of being, or the state of nothingness. And the reason I say nothingness because it's like I'm releasing. And I think that meditation in the morning has definitely been something like that for me. So that's pretty much me. And then obviously, well not obviously, but me having different projects, it does get in the way sometimes. I allow it to get in the way in terms of like my mental health and taking care of myself, trying to be Superman.
I feel like I do the same thing in the morning. I actually don't, I try not to check my phone.
Yeah.
I try not to even talk to people until I take like 5-10 minutes to just sit with myself. Somebody said, I think it was a friend of mine, Adria, you close your eyes and you cut off like that sensory. And then one of my mentors, he don't know it yet though, Big Sean talked about that, like how in the morning when you do set that like intention, it's like a mental check-in. It's really like a mental, emotional, and really spiritual check-in. When you like check in with sit with yourself first, it allows me, I feel like, to even deal with other people, deal with busy traffic, and just deal with life in general. I find that the more I take like mini breaks, if it's not a sound bath, even if it's 60 seconds in a car, like to breathe and to stop, like, and to just block everything out, I'm able to recalibrate, if that makes sense. So, dang, again, I don't know what your question was, but
You asked me a
I asked you a question.
I said, you asked me about my stuff, my house, my head, my heart, my hustle. So I think that I really value being able to see other people's perspective, but also being able to see what's going on and make my perception based off of that, because essentially I have to do it for myself first. So reading the room, right? What do you think reading the room means when you hear it? Like, read the room.
I'm still trying to understand what you was just saying about.
Oh, we're reading the room?
Say what you said again.
Okay, so I feel like with me, in terms of like my perspective and how I look at things and how I analyze them, and like my viewpoint in terms of reading the room, and essentially myself first. Like I have to read myself. When I say reading the room, what I mean by that is being aware and being conscious of your current surroundings, of where you are, where you at, virtually or in person, and catering to either the environment that you're in. So meaning that, let's say, if I go to an office space and I see 6 people working on laptops, me reading the room is saying like, all right, bet, if this is a co-working space, everybody is either working on the same project, or they all just having to be on computers at themselves. Because my thing is, if I see, let's say you see, did that make sense? Like,
I'm trying to gauge your question. You asking me how I read?
yeah, I'm saying like, what does it mean when you say like, what does reading the room mean to you? Because I feel like when people say like read the room, I feel like what they're saying is look at what's going on and make your best judgment based off of what's presented to you. Like when you go in, like for example, black people use it when they talking about like white people and they're not reading the room. You're not being aware of the cultural differences that are present. So I said read the room on today's episode is because sometimes reading the room is essentially you need to understand yourself. You are the room sometimes, and you need to read what exactly it is that you're putting yourself into. What people are you surrounding yourself by? And I feel as though with sound bowl therapy and with meditation, what I mean by reading the room is take heed to the place that you're going and the environment that you're putting yourself in, but also know that it's a mental process. Reading the room starts with your mental. being able to consciously see that, okay, am I aware of what's going on? Are you aware of yourself? Let's read the room. And I feel as though that sometimes people don't read the room, meaning that they don't take the time out to say like, hey, damn, this is actually going on. I'm not aware about it.
I feel like people don't take enough time out to consider like being empathetic or like being mindful of the energy they bring into rooms. I feel like people are doing the best that they can, but I feel like a lot of people are self-absorbed. A lot of people are only in thought about what's going on with them and how life is affecting them. Reading the room for me is more about like gauging the energy in the space.
Yes.
I can pick up, and it's not to sound woo woo, cause like I'm regular Neeko, but like I speak energy, and I can pick up on it. I'm really sensitive to it, and I don't know. I feel like that's reading the room, and just being cognizant of how you make other people feel and how you come off, and just the energy that you show up with, because you could show up with an energy that's funky and foul or stank, and that could throw off somebody else's day.
Yep. Now it's contagious.
So yeah, energy is transferable. You can't create it or destroy it. It literally moves. So I feel like that, in terms of reading the room, like people need to take more time out to do that. Like, and be cognizant of the fact that you don't know what the people in the room have going on. Like, you gotta give people grace. I wish, if anything, people gave more grace and more empathy. Cause if, like, just like you want grace or understanding, you got to give that or be willing to give that to other
Reciprocity.
people. Like, otherwise, what is you doing? Like, I don't know. And I just feel like energy is just so important. How you treat people, how you talk to people, how you just interact with people. And I feel like meditation can help with that.
Definitely.
I feel like it can definitely help with that. Like,
would you like to give us a demonstration?
I would. So what I want you to do, focus on your breathing. You can sit however you feel comfortable. If you want to move your laptop, you can. Focus on your breathing, and I'm gonna go ahead and lead you into like a little guided meditation. So funny. So breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you want to rest your hands, whatever is the most comfortable. Breathe in again through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathing in again through your nose and out through your mouth.
I was about to fall asleep. That was, I'm like, hold on, she can take you there. That was
So people typically do fall asleep.
Oh,
And
I fall
get
asleep
that
for
question.
sure.
Like, I get that question. Like, is it okay to fall asleep? But a lot of times, like, you need that rest. Sometimes meditation can look like you being put to sleep, but sometimes, like, we don't get enough sleep. We don't get enough rest. Like, you lay down and you really don't rest, regenerate, and, like, recharge. So meditation is a really cool way to do that. And sound bowl meditation specifically because for a lot of people, it's hard to just sit and, like, zen out. But this is kind of like you're pulled into a meditative state, and your brain waves it slows your brain waves down, it slows your breathing down, and just you go inward. You allow it to go inward. So, yeah.
Man. Well, look, Neeko, I appreciate you for coming on our show today. Before you go, got a little Sean on to give me slide on over here.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Got you a little
I love gifts. We love gifts.
Couple little giffy gifts.
We love gifts.
So I got you a comic book. I got you Storm. It's called X-Men Red. So it's pretty dope.
I love you.
And then I love you too. And then I got you another one, Superman, because you always be trying to do everything.
Oh, Fred.
So I got you 2 comic books. And appreciate you for coming.
This is such a
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
This was a good episode, good conversation. We got a little meditation. You know what I'm saying?
We finna eat.
Yeah. We're gonna finish the food for sure. After this wrap up, we're gonna definitely dig back in. Shout out to City Wings again for being a official sponsor. This is episode 7. Read the Room on Coney Conversations. I'm your host, Mr. Duffy. I was joined today by Neeko Little, and we out.